President Ruto's relationship with the Mount Kenya region, analyst Michael Agwanda argues, is beyond reparable, and Ruto will have to seek a new strategy to be re-elected. Most of the concerns from the central region are said to be attributed to failed promises, and most recently, the fallout with the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
We have made Gachagua bigger than we could ever have made him in the history of this country and in the politics of the mountain. We've made Gachagua a real monster that if we do not know how we will deal with him, he will crush some of the very few people that actually orchestrated his impeachment. We have made Gachagua have what is called sympathy votes. Gachagua was not even liked in the mountain. He was not even liked by his own people that much.
On the flip side, Gachagua's recent actions in the region are upsetting what was once a UDA zone, and analysts claim that whereas his action may appear indifferent, the former DP may be consolidating his Mount Kenya base as he awaits the ruling challenging his impeachment.
Gachagua now has gone to total tribal politics. What he's doing is just to consolidate the so-called Murima. Remember, you could see that there was a meeting and they were trying to say now the Gema community forgot about their Kamba nation.
However, the events of 2024 are said to have changed Kenyan politics and introduced a new voting bloc, the Gen Z, that destabilized President William Ruto's government in a bid to seek radical changes within the government. The argument is that they might decide to vote for their candidate and even maybe produce the next head of state.
The case of 2027 will be more tricky, more difficult, and more challenging than our normal political rhetorics and normal electioneering period that we've had, because there's a new group in town, and that new group in town is called Gen Z, and the Gen Z most likely are going to run people out of town, and if they run people out of town, they might have a huge direction on where the next president is going to come.
It basically means that we are not just in a different dispensation, but our politics will change before or on the 2027 in a very irreversible way.
Okia Omutata has already declared his intention to challenge President William Ruto for the throne, with a section of Gen Zs throwing their weight behind him, with questions emerging as to whether he will manage an upset against President Ruto. Okia brands himself as a person different from the caliber of politicians that the country has been treated to.
Sera zangu ni kuwahamisha wananchi kutoka kwa hao mababe waje upande wangu. Sitapigana na mababe. Nitapigana na wananchi kwa badilisha mawazo waje upande wangu waone kile ninaona. Alafu tushirikiane pamoja tuweze kuomboa nchi kutoka penye iko sahihi.
Kalonzo, on the other hand, is seen as not keen to have Odinga's support after extending his support for the former Premier Raila Odinga 3 times. Kalonzo is salivating at the disgruntled mountain with hopes that the region will give him a backing. Already preparations are underway for such, as was seen during the Gema Association meetup that welcomed the Kamba Nation back into Gema. If Gema backs Kalonzo in totality, Kalonzo might have a huge head start of not less than 3 million votes without factoring in his Ukambani backyard.
Go to Gema, we'll only land him again to Raila's camp. However much he runs from Raila's camp, but at the very end of it, when they try to reorganize like they always do, their tribal politics, Kalonzo will go back to Raila's camp.
For now, calculations and political games remain in course as the 2027 race takes shape. Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Well, let's now get some business news. Coffee farmers across the country are urging the government to increase the capacity of fertilizer in the sector from the current 60,000 bags to 120,000 bags in order to enhance production. During a meeting with the Parliamentary Coffee Caucus in Nairobi, the members condemned companies that have monopolized the sector by dominating the intermediary role as brokers. However, the caucus has committed to advocating for coffee farmers until their demands are met. Linda Koski has the details.
Coffee productivity in Kenya has been declining drastically due to various factors including low input usage, poor cooperative management and market challenges.
We can have a company that is selling, marketing, buying, milling and transporting and doing all those things at the same time. We are saying you only do one task at a time. You mill, you don't sell. You sell, you don't buy, because we have had that which has been bringing the biggest problem.
During a meeting between coffee farmers and the National Assembly Coffee, the government's failure to increase the amount of subsidized fertilizer has significantly impacted farmers' productivity.
And we are pressuring government to increase the quantity of subsidized fertilizer from the 60,000 bags that were procured this year to more than double that number, and ensure that this subsidized coffee fertilizer is actually going to the factory level.
The industry is further burdened by debt, despite the government's announcement of plans to inject 6.7 billion shillings into the bailout plan for coffee farmers, which has yet to materialize.
We had purpose to have 6.7 billion in the budget for these to have full debt waiver of all the coffee farmers. And what we have in the budget so far is 2 billion, but again in this 2 billion, nothing has been released.
Meanwhile, farmers are experiencing a sigh of relief as the new European Union regulations aimed at protecting dwindling forests, which affect how the world sources its coffee, have been postponed by a year. This postponement allows for broader consultation within the coffee subsector in light of the new EU regulations and the new proposed coffee law.
We had purpose to have 6.7 billion in the budget for these to have full debt waiver of all the coffee farmers. And what we have in the budget so far is 2 billion, but again in this 2 billion, nothing has been released.
The caucus has also vowed to oversee the implementation of coffee reforms with a key agenda focused on eliminating cartels throughout the crop value chain.
This sector cartel-free, so that as much benefit goes to the grower as possible, rather than giving the benefit to middlemen.
Linda Koskei, K24 TV.
Elsewhere, Cooperative Bank of Kenya has been named the winner in the banking sector at this year's CIO 100 Awards, following a vigorous selection process that entailed scrutinizing its IT-driven projects rather, that have made a tangible impact on business operations, community development and digital transformation across the African continent. Coop Bank won the top accolades for the design and development of the direct settlement system for the Nairobi Coffee Exchange. The DSS stood out among the numerous competing projects submitted for the contest by banks across Africa, with Absa Group of South Africa and the First Bank of Nigeria making it to the finals. The CIO 100 Award is the latest in a list of accolades that Coop Bank has lately received, noting that in last year's edition of the awards, the coveted CIO Year of the Award was won by the Director ICT and Innovation at Coop Bank, Charles Kacheso Washika. The bank was also recently named overall winner at the Sustainable Finance Catalyst Awards organized by the Kenya Bankers Association. That's all we had for business. It's time for us to take a short break. We'll be back with some sports news with Chris Migwambo.
At People Daily, we believe small actions lead to monumental changes. As we commit to a greener future, embrace simple steps, reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's time to go green. Kua Green. Switch off unused lights, opt for reusables over disposables, and support eco-friendly products. A choice, no matter how small, makes a difference. Inspire others with your green journey, and together let's shape a more sustainable tomorrow. Kua Green is an initiative of the People Daily.
I will love you without condition.
Oh yeah, Nairobi, Kenya comes alive on the 7th of December 2024.
Malaika.
At SK, the Dome Jamhuri Park Showground from 7 p.m. as the sensational Register Etana will be performing live at the Good Vibes Festival. Tickets are now available at ticketyetu.com. Advance regular tickets are going for 2,000 and 2,500 shillings at the gate. Advance VIP tickets are going for 4,000 shillings and 5,000 at the gate, while VVIP tickets are going for 6,000 and 8,000 Kenyan shillings at the gate. Ingia, ticket yetu na ushike tiko yako leo. Come and have some good vibes.
I'm not the sort of person who falls in and quickly out of love. But to you, I give my affection right from the start.
Angukia welcome bonus only on Mozart. Karibishwa kama mgeni. Register now on mozartbet.co.ke to angukia free bets under free spins bonanza. Kuwa mshindi. Mozartbet.
K24 Sports News, powered by Mozart Bet.
Angukia welcome bonus only on Mozart. Karibishwa kama mgeni. Register now on mozartbet.co.ke to angukia free bets under free spins bonanza. Kuwa mshindi. Mozartbet.
Gor Mahia Secretary General Sam Ochola says that he is ready to take Kenyan football to a whole new level. But before that, let's play. My name is Chris Migwambo. Thousands of residents of Uasin Gishu County got free medical camp on Monday in preparations for the second edition of the Chepsaita Cross Country Championships to be held on 7th of December in Chepsaita, Uasin Gishu County. According to the race patron Farouk Kibet, the free medical camp was important to the people of Chepsaita as health comes first before anything else. The event, which is a World Athletics Cross Country Tour Gold Circuit, has attracted athletes from over 15 countries. They include Bahrain, Brunei, Burundi, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kazakhstan, among others.
Coming to seek medical services in a medical camp, which is very, very commendable. And I want to say that this is just a start of unearthing what people are going through in the communities.
Because leo hapa ni ushuhuda kamili kwamba wananchi wanafaa kutibiwa. Nimeona hapa mtu anatibiwa, anapewa classes ya macho, anafanyiwa operation hapa. So mimi nataka niseme ya kwamba sisi tutashirikiana, tutafanya hii, na ni kwa sababu tu tumekusudia kusema ya kwamba tunataka kuona. Furaha yangu ni kwamba sasa wananchi wameanza kutenga uongo na mambo ya afya.
They talked to us about this marathon. We did not know Chepsaita. So first, kama kiongozi amewamulika vizuri because he has made you known to the world. Number two is to also thank him for thinking through the community from an education.
The Kenya Sevens men's rugby team head coach Kevin Bling Wambua has said that Shuja's performance at the Dubai Sevens was commendable despite the team finishing 10th. Coach Wambua has also noted that Tony Omondi will replace the injured Crisant Ojwang at the second leg of the HSBC World Rugby 7 Series Cape Town leg to be held in South Africa this coming weekend.
Team, of course, first game we got slightly unlucky. Second one to come out South Africa, and the third one I could go our way. But I'm so proud kwa boys. Kwa lead wame stood up by me. Wakashow tukisimama pamoja tunaweza na kufollow two game structure. Imetubebea siku. Kitu tunanid kupolish on ni our restarts. Hiyo ni kick off na lineouts mostly. Na set plays zetu. Alafu game plan yetu tumeona inatubeba all day. So hizo ndio vitu tuna stick nazo.
I'm very proud about the boys. We told ourselves that we are going to be brave and we are going to take ownership in this team. And the way the boys played, having 8 new boys in the squad, I mean, you couldn't even tell that we were that inexperienced, coming close to beating France, beating South Africa, then just playing a little bit of off script against Australia, which is a quality side, then regrouping and beating Ireland, and finally, as you can see now, just blowing off the steam against Uruguay. So for me, it's very positive. 2 wins, 3 losses, not really what we wanted, but for us it's important that we pick up the points that we can at the moment, because we know every point is important at this stage.
Yeah.
Now, Gor Mahia Football Club Secretary General Sam Ochola is oozing with confidence ahead of the 7th December FKF presidential elections. Ochola, who is running on the mantra Football Devolution in Kenya, says that if elected, he will ensure that each county is allocated Kenya shillings 3 million to help them run football affairs from the counties. I had a sit-down with the presidential candidate and filed the following report. Football Kenya Federation presidential candidate Sam Ochola says that his first assignment, if elected as the next FKF president, will be to ask Harambee Stars head coach Engin Firat to step down. This is after the national men's football team Harambee Stars failed to qualify for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations to be held in Morocco.
Of course, our biggest problem is the coach. Yeah. Firat is not a coach. Firat, I think, came to Kenya to do some business that we don't understand. But Harambee Stars needs an overhaul. The technical bench needs to be kicked out, and a new technical bench needs to be brought into place. And we need to talk about the kind of coaches we want to bring into Kenyan football.
Ochola, who is currently the Gor Mahia Football Club Secretary General, says that he is fit to lead Kenyan football from the experience he has gained at Gor Mahia and the masters he holds in business administration from the USIU University.
People think because you are a former footballer, you're able to actually manage football. Playing football and managing football are two different things. Some of these people who have say they're coming from a football background need to understand. Yeah, you don't, even if after playing football, then you become a coach. Managing that football club is a totally different ballgame.
Ochola, who is running on the mantra Football Devolution in Kenya, says that if elected as the next FKF president, he will ensure that each county is allocated approximately Kenya shillings 3 million to help them run football affairs from the counties.
What they do is chairmen come to Nairobi and they're given handouts, yeah, and sleep in a good hotel, and then they go back home. And so for the last 8 years, nothing has happened. What we want to do is, I will never give out handouts. I want to tell this chairman, when you come to me, you are not going to get even a cent as a handout. But what we are going to do is empower your officers to have money so that you are able to identify good playing grounds, you are able to buy equipment for your counties, you are meant to run offices.
With the lack of proper infrastructure being a major headache for Kenya and several Kenyan Premier League clubs, Ochola says that he has a permanent solution that will serve well clubs and country in local and international football duties.
And when I come in, the first thing we are going to do with the Ministry of Sports, and this is to Murkomen, we will sit down and ask ourselves, what is making us not be able to hold CHAN and AFCON and all these other international matches that Harambee Stars should be playing, and Gor Mahia and Police and the guy when we qualify for CAF championships? Why do we always have to fly out of this country?
The FKF presidential candidate has called out FKF Vice President Doris Petra for not doing enough to help in development of women football in Kenya since she was elected as the FKF Vice President in 2016.
Doris Petra, who is pretending or wants to be the president of Kenyan football, what has she done for Kenyan women football in the last 8 years? Why are women, young girls, suffering? They lack pads, normal basic pads for, these are things that should be given for free. In parliament, the women are fighting for schoolgirls to be given free pads and all that. Why not in football? Why can't we pay the referees in the women's football, even if the men have to struggle? But women football we need to talk about it. We need to make it a very major agenda in this country.
Ochola says that he will be open to criticism and all the officials working in his administration must be accountable, transparent and honest with every fund received from the government, CAF or World Football Governing Body, FIFA. And that's all we had for you in the world of sports. And of course, the World Athletics Awards were held yesterday. The votes by fans and Tebogo and Sifan Hassan are the men and women fans athlete of the year 2024. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Chris Migwambo.
K24 Sports News, powered by Mozart Bet.
Angukia welcome bonus. Only on Mozart. Karibishwa kama mgeni. Register now on mozartbet.co.ke to angukia free bets under free spins bonanza. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
Well, that's just about it for K24 Evening Edition. Thank you for making time for the segment. I'm Alan Owino. Our sign language interpreter for this session has been Walter Asere. Do have yourselves a lot.
When it's a Saturday,